Street. Shout out to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Shout out to my boy Josh DeWay. All right, let's go. Oh man, he got headphones on. He got a mic. He is ready.
What?
Of course.
No, you'd be surprised how many people just show up with their phone in their hand. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So thank you for
not even earbuds, right?
This is already a much more professional operation than we're accustomed to on this show.
He's got foliage in the back. There's a plant.
Come on, man.
This guy is an adult.
Yeah, come on, man. This is what the fuck we do. Let's go.
Lord Jamar from Brandon. Before we start, listen to me. Before we start.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure I've said this to you in person, but I have to say it here. I would not be here if it was not for you and your Brand Nubian crew. I would not be the man that I am today. 14, 15 years old, reading Malcolm X alongside getting my lessons from your music, teaching me to get knowledge of self, and learning the supreme mathematics from dance to my ministry and the verse of All for One, and learning about it wasn't back in the day. We didn't have YouTube and stuff. We couldn't just pull up something that we wanted to learn about. So everything was pieced together from your music, Poor Righteous Teachers, Rakim, Kane, Wu-Tang even, and learning about the Allah School in Mecca, going to the rallies, because I didn't know. I'm reading Malcolm X, who is part of the 1960s Nation of Islam. And then I'm listening to Brand Nubian, and there's a lot of same words. You know what I mean? So, because we know the lessons, a lot of it comes from the nation, whatever. So I'm hearing words that are similar. So I didn't know there was a difference at that time. You know what I mean? And then going to get knowledge of self, becoming God, Ciph, Islam, Allah. And I just want to thank you, man, because I'm not an active member in the 5% Nation, but I can never lose the lessons I learned of always seeking knowledge, always finding knowledge of self, looking for the truth, explaining to my now 7-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son why I don't celebrate Christmas and Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? And you could do it if you want.
Even the name Cypher sounds like Cypher. You've retained Cypher.
Cypher is not my rap name. It's my name.
Right.
And then Sounds is my rap name.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like when people go, what's your real name? I go, Cypher is my real name. I don't use it to check in the hotels. I remember when I DJ'd for Sadat for like a couple of weeks when he released his solo album. And I remember we went to the hotel and he checked in as Derek Murphy. I was like, oh yeah, you do got to use those names sometimes.
Right.
Do you remember when you used to DJ for me at Halo? Me and Rich.
Oh shit.
Remember that? Remember that?
Wow. I forgot about that.
We was promoting the shit at Halo, and you was DJing for us.
Wait, where was Halo again?
That was like in the village somewhere.
Wait, because it became something else.
Like a downstairs shit.
Yeah, it became
real sexy shit. Like it was dope.
It became something else. It has another name now. Halo, wow.
They always change these clubs.
So that and I wore my 4B shirt, which is Culture Freedom.
There you go.
It's number 4.
I got my
mathematics, just so you know.
Allah shirt on.
Perfect.
Wow.
So anyway, all right. So that's enough. Brand Nubian Cipher Sounds.
Yes.
Just let you know. I just give credit to helping me become the man I am today. Now, what's your fucking problem with Rosenberg, man?
Jamar, we played this on the show. We played this a couple weeks ago. Let's play it again for the people.
Okay, let's go.
This just happened. Some guy posted this. Here we go. Here's the thing.
Yo, Lord, stop. Get the F out of here.
Play it one more time.
Here it is.
Play it one more time.
Joy.
It brought me joy.
First of all, get rid of Rosenberg.
Okay.
Let's just put that out there.
All right.
Why we keep holding on to this mother?
Who knows?
Like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? And why do we keep acting like he's somebody that we need to with? Get rid of this guy. He's not funny. He's not appealing. I don't like his point of view. Get out of here. Leave.
So it begged the question, you
You
know.
can play the whole thing. I didn't leave it just at you, but
No. Yeah, well, I do want to find out what he told Laura Stiles to get the fuck out of here. We'll get there. But so we played it on the air and I talked about it because I guess I understand how we could have different perspective on certain things, but as someone who's always tried to be a purveyor of the real shit, and I'm such a huge fan of yours and Brand Nubians, I guess we just wanted to know what is the origin of why you don't fuck with me.
And I'm using you as a test case, Jamar, because other people have said stuff like this about Rosenberg,
right.
And some people say it a lot more aggressively and a lot more.
They do worse than Jamar. Then I'm in trouble.
Yeah, but Jamar's doing it on camera. Like,
first of all, let me just, for the record, I've only met you maybe one time, Peter. I think up at Hot 97 a long time ago. This might have been in the 90s when you were still doing your overnight type shit. I think I was up there with Shabazz the Disciple or some shit like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so I don't know you personally. I don't hate you personally as a person. I don't know you. But I feel like you represent a lot of what's wrong in hip hop culture as it pertains to corporate entities and white privilege.
Okay.
I remember when I first started hearing about you.
Okay.
Peter Rosenberg. It was it was on a late night. I might have been coming home from a club and Peter Rosenberg. Now, granted, the type of hip hop you was playing was some shit I could fuck with. It was that underground shit. I liked it, but I was like, Peter Rosenberg. Like,
why?
Like, how? Yeah, why Peter Rosenberg? Like, why not come with some sort of hip hop moniker? Like, why you not,
Ooh, good point.
Oh, that is interesting.
Like, everybody usually adapts some sort of like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with some sort of hip hop name. Like, you got plenty of
That's a great point, Jamar, and I never put that together.
It's a great point, and I have a great.
I know why.
I'm sure you're gonna be like, listen, I'm a regular dude. Da 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 da.
Oh.
And that's part of my shit too. As far as I know, you don't rhyme. You're not a DJ.
I am a DJ.
Oh, are you? Like a Zigga Zigga DJ?
A Zigga Zigga vinyl collecting DJ nerd motherfucker. Yes.
Okay, you can scratch and all that type of shit.
I'm not a Ciph, but I can scratch. I can transform. I can hit a flare.
You just taught me something that I did not know about you.
Yeah, when I did that show, I was mixing on the show. When I do that show, I still mix on the show occasionally.
Okay, well, geez, I didn't know that.
Look at the shirt, bro.
Listen, I started before the 1200s. What was the first?
Yeah,
shit?
the shitty like belt drive joint
or some shit like yeah. That's what I started on.
And to the name thing, real quick. So the actual story on that is when I was on the radio in DC when I first got started, I went by PMD. That was my rap DJ name.
Bam,
and I had that. And as time went on, it was fine. I went to New York. I got the opportunity at Hot. And
we got to get into that too.
Okay. Well, the how really essentially is not going to help me because you don't like the person who helped me. But Ebro essentially caught wind of videos I was making. So I was making parody videos and like fucking around. I was early on figuring out YouTube. Okay. Like I don't have it figured out anymore. But in the first era, I had it kind of figured out how to make good shit on YouTube.
Okay.
And between that and the fact that I had been on the radio for several years in DC on a big station, and I'd been sending air checks, I've been trying to get on.
How'd you get on that station?
Okay, keep going backwards. I like where you're going. University of Maryland, where I went to college. Signed up for the signed up to be an intern as a journalism major. Went to WPGC, became an intern, got under the tutelage of Big Tigger. Tigger took me under his wing, made me his personal intern. I did his show every night while doing my college radio show, learned from every other cats down there at the station who you may or may not know. over the years kept working, sending tapes, etc. Eventually, after these videos popped off.
Wait, real quick, just so you see, his family is from New York, so he would always be up in New York with his family.
Right. That part you need to know too.
That's why he wanted to be on Hot 97 so badly, because he was always in New York.
So I was always in Queens visiting my grandparents.
Okay.
So I would listen at first when I was a kid to BLS and Kiss, then later
it's like we're presenting evidence.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing.
We need it.
That's what we need.
I need to know. Were you around for like HBI? Do you know about shit like that?
I know about it, but never listened to HBI.
Okay. All right.
I really only know HBI from KRS saying I used to listen to Awesome 2 on WHBI until I then got to know the Awesome 2 when I got here.
About Supreme Team or Mr. Magic or none of that type of shit.
I started listening at Marley and Red.
Era right after that.
Yeah. I miss Mr. Magic.
Right.
Wow, I literally just quoted Nas. But yeah, I miss Mr. Magic. and I started with Red Alert and Marley. And then eventually, so Ebro eventually calls, says, hey, I've seen, you're doing these videos, blah, blah, blah. How would you like to come up here and audition to be the producer of Miss Jones' morning show? Because we like the ideas you have. You seem creative, whatever. I go up there. I meet Miss Jones. Much like you, she's not impressed. So Ebro hits me up and is like, hey, bro, good news, bad news. Bad news, Miss Jones doesn't want to work with you, but I think the station should. And what would you think about doing your own late night show where you play the stuff that you play on your show? And I was like, dream come true. Okay. Came up there, started doing that. And then they had the idea to put me and Ciph together and build this new morning show at that time. And then since then, I've just been,
But that's
that's
where his name came in.
Oh, yeah, and that part. And so Ebro said, when I said on PMD, Ebro was like, nah, bro, what makes this different, what makes you stand out is to let people know who you are. Right. Like, don't have a name that's generic. That does, from a radio branding standpoint, that doesn't make sense. Don't be generic.
You see, so none of this is your fault necessarily, but you're going to have to take the brunt for a lot of shit. So let's back up just a little bit.
Okay.
So you're an intern for Tigger.
Mm-hmm.
How many black interns has Tigger had that's risen to the level that you've risen to?
Okay.
I would say he has no interns that have ever raised to the level that I've gone to.
Right. See, what I'm trying to get at is you kind of cut the line on a lot of people that may have been more deserving.
May have been
more deserving for that spot.
Which spot?
That overnight spot on Hot 97 to play some real shit. Like, was Peter Rosenberg the best choice to play underground hip hop in New York City on the overnight shift?
Just because he's white?
See, that's why. No, it's not just because I feel like Ebro saw the controversy and it saw the hook in, oh shit, this is a white bird. His name is Peter Rosenberg. I can put him on it, radio playing some hardcore black shit, and that'll be something different. But at the same time, think about how many black DJs that came up doing the same type of shit have been overlooked, especially at Hot 97. I'm not even going to say just white people. You know what? Hot 97 also went very hard with the Spanish DJs.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like the fucking Ciph sounds. Yep.
Yes, Ciph, you benefited off of that too. Think about it. Carmelo, Envy, like the only real black one was Flex. Like,
and C.
You're gonna have one who? Okay, yeah, we'll have Flex and C, and it just seems like a lot of black people
Jabba,
who are the original fucking creators of the shit. I gotta go back to this shit. Are getting overlooked for certain opportunities.
You can't cut out.
It almost hang on. It almost seems like corporate redlining in a way. No.
Listen, I've been at Hot 97. I mean, I'm not there no more, but I started late 97. I was there for 17 years. Bro, when you talk about, like, I'm telling you, this is when I started at Hot 97 in 97, I was militant 5%er Cipher Sound. I was with all the bullshit, right? I was with the shits. Now, first, I just want to say, and I am not I am not overly Puerto Rican. I'm not culturally Puerto Rican at all.
Right. No Spanish.
It doesn't matter. It's how they see you, though. It's how the corporate entity sees you and what they want to project to the public.
Okay.
It's not necessarily what you're about. Right. It's what they feel they want to represent the station as. And they didn't want too many niggas as the face of the shit. Let's keep it real.
My whole point is I'm with all the shits and I hate Hot 97. I left in a very unceremonious way.
Bang.
I never felt that when I was there though.
Okay. Well, as an outsider looking in, this is what I see. I see some bullshit from Hot 97 for the longest time.
There was a lot
before
of
you got there. This is not just about Rosenberg.
Right.
But it seems like it just culminates, and it just seems like they capitalized off of
that's for sure.
The name Peter Rosenberg inside this space, and it's another way that they just constantly interjecting themselves into.
But that's all corporate entities.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
Okay.
And Hot 97 is I think this is a major disconnect that exists between people in music and people in radio. Is like the business of radio is not hip hop culture. No. Like I try to do hip hop culture on corporate radio, but like I think sometimes we get confused. It's almost as if people sometimes act, Jamar, as if Hot 97 is like a public radio station for the community. Now, by the way,
hip hop,
I have legitimately, although it probably make Jamar sick, I have legitimately thought about the idea of trying to put together a great group so you could one day buy it and make it a community station, essentially. But it's not that now and never has been. It's always been a money-making entity. And I'm sure within that, they've done plenty of bullshit. And maybe my hiring was part of that. I couldn't say it. I guess the part that bothers me, Jamar, is you're basically saying it's not necessarily like I'm sure I've annoyed you with an opinion here or opinion there, but it's more what I represent that annoys you. Yes. And I guess that is, but I'm just on a personal level, I want to express it to you because as someone who I admire so much musically, it is one of the bummers of my career. And I understand it and I take it because I get it. I don't throw pity parties for white people who choose and have the privilege to be in a black field and then have people hate on them. I get it. I signed up for it. That's privilege. I'm with it. But it does suck sometimes because I've always tried to do the right thing. I've always tried to put on for the best artists. I've always tried to give the unpopular opinion that I feel people like you and other cats and elder statesmen in hip hop would want to have represented on the air. I've always tried my best to do that.
And I can respect that. I understand that. And I'm not here to try to purposely, hurt people's feelings and shit like that. Like I know that even somebody like Eminem, I know that he was a fan of Brand Nubian and shit like that. And for me to say some shit, that was contrary or whatever the case may be, might have seemed even, hurt a little more or whatever the case may be. But I can't worry about that when I'm, when shit is going on to the culture that I love so dearly, because I'm a hip hop purist. I listen to HBI and all that type of shit. I've seen this shit basically from its infancy till now. Like I see how they fucking cutting certain people out of certain shit. Like, and so, yes, you are a symbol of something. It's not you as a person.
Okay.
It's what you symbolize. And
just like great points, and I understand that there is nothing. I don't think there's anything that he can do about that huge, bigger picture.
No.
But you said some things in that clip, especially. He actually is pretty funny. I wish you would get to know him.
Yeah, he's
funny.
you know, he's funny.
He's funny.
I'm funny too, though. Why am I not on the radio? Listen to this gorgeous fucking voice. Why am I not on the radio?
Well, you know why, Jamar? I'm willing to guess you're not too interested in playing the game. If I was
Exactly.
Because you could have been on the radio. Yo,
That's why I'm not on the radio.
But in another world,
I'm hip hop to its core.
Yeah, but the radio station isn't.
But why did but you're supposed to be hip hop and R&B? See, that's what's confusing. It's like going into a fucking Mexican restaurant and then finding out no Mexicans really make the food. They don't even give a fuck about Mexican culture. They're just serving you tacos, like. And I guess that's Taco Bell. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but listen, that's why
eat that. I don't like Taco Bell. I like that real shit.
All right, now we might have to cut this interview off. Now he's gone too far.
Now you're talking wild.
Now he's talking crazy.
You're talking wild.
Taco Bell? You gone too far, Jabbar.
Taco Bell and Beyonce, right? You talk about them, you're talking crazy.
We want to fight the good fight as well. I have often had to stick up for Peter Rosenberg from getting his block knocked off in other different situations. The reason why I fuck with him is, listen, you know what I'm saying? We could fight against all the fucking corporate entities, Illuminati, the world, everything, the New World Order, all that shit. The guy loves hip hop to the core, and in a not disrespectful way, like more than even me in the way he studies it and analyzes it. Sometimes there's a disconnect where, like, he doesn't get where the street meets the music sometimes. Like,
well, no, and I've overstepped with some. I've had my occasional white privilege moments that I was too young at the time. Like Jamar, I struggled for a while to figure out the balance between, in hip hop, you have to be confident. You have to have a somewhat brash personality. You know what I'm saying? You have to show your balls on occasion. Like, that is a thing that happens. The balance between that and coming off as kind of annoyingly white privilege, that took some years for me to figure out. Like, I admit that wholeheartedly. Like, I'm not the same person now that I was when I was 30 and trying to show everyone I belong here. But it was a hard balance, because if I went soft, I felt like people wouldn't have listened to me at all and been like, get the fuck out of here. So I made mistakes. I definitely made mistakes. I'm sure I said things that were irritating. But I do think, when I think of what I do that makes me proud, like today, for example, on the radio, I did, at the end of the show, I gave a tribute to DJ 50 Grand, who died over the weekend, who discovered Biggie. And I'm thankful, to have that voice. And whenever those situations happen, I try to be the person who says something to make sure the families of the people who matter know it. I ran into Kango Kid's kids yesterday.
Wow.
Had a conversation with them. They gave me a picture of me and Kango Kid together. I just try to do absolutely my best for the forefathers thing. I'm not saying I've never been the right choice to have to do this. As David Banner once said to me, he pulled me aside recently and was like, "You've said a lot of shit. You shouldn't have been the one to have to say it. It shouldn't have been you." But he said, "But I appreciate you saying them. I try. I still fuck up sometimes, but I try." So, like, I totally hear where you're coming from, but I also think, it's like at the Mexican restaurant example, the one cook they have who's like, "Hey, I'm not Mexican, but I went to Mexico, I studied it, and I'm gonna give you the best piece of food you can have." And then you turn around and you go public and you're like, "You know what? Fuck that guy."
Right.
That's kind of how it feels.
I hear what you're saying, and I can definitely respect that. And like I said, I'm not here to try to, hurt people personally. Yeah, I guess they caught me in a moment or whatever the case may be.
Why'd you tell Laura Stiles to get the fuck out of here? What did Laura do?
I don't know who the fuck Laura Stiles is. Again, I just feel like there's other qualified people that could be up there, like I don't know where she comes from either. I'd have to get her fucking resume. I'm not ready to even hear it. But
who are you? And listen, I agree with you in a lot of points, but like, who are you supposed to get? Like, how do you go find these people? Like, if they're not, like making themselves known or whatever.
I mean, maybe they are making themselves known. You're just not looking in the right place. But then it's like the people that you should get a lot of times, it's going to turn around where they're not necessarily corporate material. You see what I'm saying? Like the people that would be good for hip hop are not necessarily corporate material. So now what the fuck? It's like, this is the catch-22.
What about K-Slay?
That we're in. K-Slay
was great.
Yeah, he was great. And he was what? He was on Thursdays and you know what I mean? Not necessarily trying to put him in that star vehicle. You know what I mean? He was on their station. But when they push the button on you at Hot 97, then the button is pushed. Like you used to do a show, and then when it was the Ciph and a Rosenberg show, that's when they pressed the button and shit was different, wasn't it? From when you was DJ before.
It was worse, to be honest with you. It was worse. but
you understand promotion wise.
Of course, I was on billboards in New York City, of course. But you don't, and this is your personal opinion. I know what I did. You don't feel I earned it?
No. Listen, I know you earned it. You see what I'm saying? And I know you've earned yours in a way too. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just knowing that being a white man in most fucking professions is going to be helpful to you.
Now,
but
what is white privilege though?
White privilege is being able to go through certain doors that or being looked at as more special. Like, think about how many black dudes are just like you, like love that type of hip hop and came from that and want to show just like you and been doing it longer. But then here comes the white guy.
So it's funny because I agree with you. So like, yes, that is definitively what white privilege is. And that's why I believe in measures to try to balance that in any way you can. And at the same time, it's hard for me because the truth is, just being real with you, from the beginning when I first showed up at the radio station in Maryland, no one's outworked me. So like, you're right, but also I made it impossible because I worked harder than anyone.
You're saying black people are lazy.
Thank
you, Ciph.
Get him.
But I agree. But I fundamentally do agree with you. And like Ciph, I had white privilege that goes further than whether or not I got an opportunity from Ebro because I'm white or whatever. It's to the point, growing up with parents who had money is privilege. It allowed me to pursue this shit. I could take a risk. If I failed, I would have went home. My parents had money. Like, they weren't rich, but they could take care of me.
I do.
Let's show white privilege right here. Okay. The fact that you can call yourself Peter Rosenberg in a black genre, right? A very black genre, and still be successful. Like, imagine I went into a very white genre, and my name's Jamar Allah, and I go into like a Jewish genre, actually, are they gonna accept that? And let me blow up with that name? Like you got people that jobs where they look at the name. If it looks too black, you're not getting the call back, brother.
Right.
Just regular. And these are regular fucking McDonald's jobs. Like, imagine some fucking CEO type of shit that I want, and I'm Daquan Jackson.
No, that's a good point. Honestly, I've never thought of my name being a piece of privilege. That is very interesting. I agree with you, and it's fascinating though, because to me, in my personal experience, like what I feel from the world.
It's keeping it real.
And it's challenging, right? Because as you know, a lot of people hate Jews. So my name has a lot of people coming for me off my name. So it's not like it always feels like privilege. It feels sometimes. And by the way, it's not just black folks who listen to Hot 97 who sometimes didn't fuck with me because of my name. More than that now, especially in the post-Trump world, it's the MAGA people who hate me because of my name. You know what I mean? So you're right. I agree. And also, it's funny because it's not how it felt, even though maybe it did benefit my career. But on a personal level, it's actually felt like a challenge. You know, like, yo, Ciph's been with me, bro. I go out and just people will be like, yo, Jew. I mean, I really get that. Like in real life.
Small hat.
I've never gotten small hat. I don't wear a yarmulke, Jamar.
I just know that's like a slang. There they go. Listen, there is something in the lessons, and I feel like people like you and Eminem fall in the category of, in the lessons they talk about Muslim sons. And these are people that study from 35 to 50 years to try to learn and do like the original man. And these are the ones that in the lessons they allow to come amongst us and do trading and work together, basically. You understand what I'm saying? That's in the lesson. So I understand there are certain people like yourself that really have a true love for this hip hop shit and want to be, you know, promoters of it in a positive way and all that. But at the same time, we have to understand the world that we live in and the systematic bullshit that goes on. And sometimes we're used as pawns in that fucking game.
You think Eminem is white privilege?
Absolutely. But he's dope.
You
see what I'm saying?
No,
I never
because
said he can't rhyme, but he's definitely white privilege.
Right. And the difference is that in that case, or a lot of cases, Rosenberg being included in this, you might not even be trying to use your own white privilege on purpose, but just the fact of being white, you're going to get so much more.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, white privilege
You're not going to turn it down.
Yeah.
You're not going to turn it down. Like, oh no, I don't want that. That's right, white privilege. Like how, you know, how do you get a fucking biopic after like one album and shit? How come Nas didn't have a biopic? How come Nas didn't get a biopic after? He still don't have a biopic. Like
that's fair. Yeah,
that's crazy shit. That's the type of shit that happens with white privilege.
And M talked about this on Dear White America. Like,
and now, here's what white privilege does too. I saw you, sir, I think on like some like white sports commentating shit. Like, totally away from hip hop. Like, you see how you can get into those avenues?
Jamar, you're on Law and Order or whatever you're on. Like you, Blue
That's
Blood,
some acting shit, though.
Well,
yeah.
You
open the door for you, bro.
I hustle.
Me too.
It's hustle.
I outwork people the same way. But you telling me if I was white that I would have more opportunities?
No, of course you would.
Of course I would.
Of course you would. That's not, I mean, listen, I'm not going to even debate that.
I mean, yeah, that's the world, bro. Like I was
just saying.
The other day.
Now here's something that I hope never happens, right, with you or Eminem, because Eminem has not done this. Most white people who get in hip hop, right, who has a certain success, at some point when hip hop, Search has not done it either. When hip hop is not really fucking with them anymore, they go and do like some rock shit or with the rock world.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Rick Rubin, fucking Kid Rock, fucking even this Machine Gun Kelly, fucking a bunch of motherfuckers have done that.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that. Okay.
I have not seen Eminem do that. I have not seen a Search do that. Even Everlast did it. Yeah, but Eminem has not done that. I've not seen you try to do nothing like that, except for maybe go to that sports thing and
but sports doesn't
that as a backup.
I love sports though. It's a real thing.
Okay, I hear you.
No, it's not a backup. Sports is what gave me the real money to be able to start putting a life together and continue to do this hip hop shit that doesn't pay that well. You know, that's the truth. My real money now comes in other places.
Nice.
This is the passion job for me.
I mean, what about, is there
This
anything?
hip hop shit sets you up to be able to
It
do
does.
that.
Oh no, it's giving me a ton. It's giving me a ton for sure.
As the attorney to Peter Rosenberg in this case, I
got a Puerto Rican lawyer, Ciph. I'm fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. There's one blanket of white privilege, whatever. So I want to, try to get him in a better category. The fact that he did get ESPN and does now work for WWE, that he still wants to stay on Hot 97. I would say not just for the morning show, but to play the underground hip hop shit mostly in his heart. He got to get some credit.
No, and I do give him. I already said that. I already do give him credit for that.
You can't say it enough, Jamar. It feels great.
Right, but I agree with you when hip hop doesn't work out 100% the way they jump to like some rock shit. That's using and abusing the,
and that's some shit that, again, black people can't necessarily do.
Right.
Like, I can't, let's just say a black guy was popular and started out popular in country music or rock. Let's say Darius Rucker, for instance. He was big, right? Yeah, once rock is not fucking with him anymore, you think he could come back and do some hip hop shit?
No, he went country.
Right. He could have never came and couldn't, you can't do the reverse. Right. Like, white people could do that all the time. Like, and then white people will fuck with them after that. Like, if you were black and started out in the white genre and then tried to reverse, come back to black, people be like, what? You wasn't fucking with us when you was big. Why you want to fuck with us now? Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Now, one question I do have to ask you, though. One of the things I always found ironic about when you would go after me was that it was often in interviews with DJ Vlad, who I'm not going to personally cast aspersions on Vlad, don't have a relationship with him, but I would certainly say, based on the kind of content he has created, a lot of people would argue is more deserving of some of the monikers that I've received before.
Right. And he's gotten them, and he's since been banned. I don't fuck with him anymore.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's been, oh yeah. He went in on Farrakhan. I
remember that. Yes.
He thought Farrakhan said something about Jews that Farrakhan didn't say. He was given an analogy on something, and he tried.
Oh, sorry, Rosenberg. Farrakhan was the leader of the black.
I'm familiar. He misquoted Farrakhan, right? And so instead of making a public apology and make a retraction, he just changed the headline and didn't want to apologize for what he did. You know what I mean?
He wouldn't apologize?
No, he wouldn't apologize. He felt like, I'm not going to apologize. I feel like, well, even if he didn't say that, I still think he's anti-Semitic, even though this is a guy that claims he's not a practicing Jew. He eats pork and all kind of crazy shit.
I always, as a Jew, just try to, the relationship between Farrakhan and the nation and Jews is a complex one. And I just personally, I've had conversations with many people about Farrakhan, and I always it's just not my place to speak on it. You know what I mean? I understand the relationship's complex, and I also know how important his role is for so many people. So I just choose to lay out.
He's definitely an elder statesman in the black community, whether you're in the Nation of Islam or not. He's somebody that we in the black community look up to. And for that reason alone, someone who's making money off of black culture and all of that should have respect for his reverence that we have for him. And he had multiple people coming to him saying, yo, apologize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Royce, fucking Cam, West Coast Cam, fucking it got to be a bunch of people. So, and now people's looking at us like, yo, you fuck with this guy, what the fuck is up? So me and Godfrey was like, yo, bro, like, you're gonna have to fucking apologize, or can't be fucking with you.
And he wouldn't do it.
Nope.
See, that's correct.
He claimed to be our friends. You see what I'm saying? This was supposed to be my friend,
bro. Listen, that's so counter to my philosophy. Ciph remembers this well. When I was gassed And after Summer Jam one year, when Chuck D said something, I said something nasty back to Chuck D. I sat on it for a few weeks, and I remember I got a phone call from Nori. Nori was like, bro, I've been thinking about it, man. You should really apologize. X, Y, and Z, here's why. I was like, you know what? Say less. If people I respect are telling me I got it wrong, and they're telling me out of care, they're not telling me because they hate me, go apologize. Like, just, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
I got my own sound effects. Let's clap it up for that. Because I deserved it.
Thank you. I do apologize.
Oh, he has apologized for some bullshit.
I apologize when I fuck up. Sometimes I apologize too much, like the Nicki Minaj situation, but you get the idea. Hey, Jamar, we really appreciate that you've been down to have this convo. And now that the door's open, now we got to do a full-on Lord Jamar music episode of One Ep sometime, Ciph.
Oh.
Yeah, honestly, this what's happening right now is not what One Ep is about. Great. I'm glad you both said your piece, but I have a lot of questions about Brand Nubian and the early days and some nerd shit. And I want to know if you remember my mom, because she used to deliver FedEx to you. Yo, my mom delivered FedEx to you.
Say word.
I'll Be Sure, Heavy D.
The whole Westchester crew.
Yeah, my mom delivered all Mount Vernon, New Rochelle back in the day.
That's crazy.
So it's crazy. My mom used to tell me that in the projects in New Rochelle, I have a joke about this now that I do in stand-up. Oh, I'm a culture vulture of I left hip-hop and I do comedy now.
First of all, let me just hang on. Let me applaud you for your stand-up shit. And I still want to get you on my fucking show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I feel like stand-up is some really brave shit to do.
Me too. Me too.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I fancy myself as a funny dude. Yeah. I think I'm funny, but I am fucking scared as a motherfucker to get up there and start telling jokes on a fucking stage,
bro.
Some like crafting it type of shit.
Yeah, funny and stand up is two different things.
Two different fucking things.
Yeah, it's weird.
And fucking Godfrey, like Godfrey's on my show, so
of course
he's the fucking man. And like, yeah, the funny that we do, and then the funny of getting up there and writing jokes and all that type of hats off. And I love your format. You just interact with the crowd and just kind of.
Yeah, that's just the stuff I post.
The improv shit is dope though. I love that shit that you do, man.
Thank you.
And you've done it successfully. At first I was like, Ciph is doing comedy? Yo. Like, huh?
I can't rap.
Just kept at it, but you could DJ. You could go you dope DJ.
But I used to tell people when I used to manage artists and they was always late and they was fucking up. I used to be like, yo, if I could rap, I would outwork your ass. I can't rap. So this is my version of rapping, going on stage, grabbing the mic, you know what I'm saying? And then like now that I go back, I was funny as a DJ, even in nightclubs. I would say funny shit when I was talking, because I got that New York element with that talk on the mic into music.
Right.
So it was like, it was kind of always there, but now I just do it 100%. But that shit, I did a show in Lancaster, Pennsylvania the other night, and I was fucking shaking before I went up, bro. And I do this every night.
Yeah, why?
New audience. I'm in an Amish country. I mean, it was a lot of mixed crowd. It was a lot of urban, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, Jamal. But it's just a new crowd. I had to do an hour. I haven't done an hour in a while because I've been shooting.
An hour?
Yeah, I had to headline.
Wow.
So, bro, I was fucking shaking, bro. And as soon as I touched the stage, it's gone.
You good?
Jamar, one music question before we'll wrap this, and we'll have you on to do a full music episode in a few weeks.
Cool.
Are the Brand Nubians all on good terms these days? Is everyone good or not?
Yeah.
Everyone, in Pooh-Bah as well.
Absolutely. Me and Pooh-Bah especially, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's dope.
Like, we've been doing a lot of shows lately. Now, if you see certain shows where Sadat's not there, Sadat lives in North Carolina right now.
Yeah, he just hit me and said that. He's down there working, right?
And he works in a hospital and all this type of shit. So he's not necessarily has the same flexibility that me and Pooh-Bah have to be able to just, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do a lot of these shows and shit. But we just had a show with all of us in Houston like 2 weeks ago.
I saw that. I wanted to
We're all
go to
gonna
that.
be at the shit August 11th at Coney Island. Some shit
Summer
for
Stage
Ralph
shit?
McDaniels. It's some Ralph McDaniels shit.
Yeah, I think it's Summer Stage. I think it's Ralph for Summer Stage. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna be
Bro,
at that and shit.
Oh my
That'll be all of
God,
us.
bro. I taped Video Music Box. Remember the episode where Brand Nubian was at Kilimanjaro?
Come on, that's the classic. That's the class.
Bro,
That's the shit that blew us up in New York. Is
I had
that
that on VHS.
man? I might need that, bro.
Study. I have, I just have the Video Music Box episode, bro. And I was trying to dance, and I was studying your dancers.
Yeah, SOS dances. Shout out. I live. I true.
When you just said Video Music Box, it just hit me like I used to play that shit every fucking day, man.
Ciph, I need to see that. I've never seen the episode.
You see?
I have it. Yeah, I have it.
See, I haven't done the work. You're right, Jamar. Fuck me.
That's classic hip hop shit. Now that night actually was it wasn't just us. It was like the unveiling of KMD,
Leaders of the
New School, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, and then Brand Nubian was the headliner.
That's all Electra.
I was gonna say it's all Electra, huh?
Yeah, Electra Hard to the Left Party. That was the name of it.
Oh,
and that shit was such a fucking epic night, yo. Like New Row, fucking. That was the first night that like.
You froze.
Fucking screen just went black.
Yeah, you froze. We hear you now a little bit.
I know what I did.
So we can say all the white privilege shit, but when it comes to hip hop, your shit cuts off.
Oh shit! Y'all can still see me, right?
We can hear you.
Hear you, yeah. It's okay though.
Yo.
Yeah,
You hear us? You hear us, Jamar? You hear your applause.
What? Hang on.
Yeah, we gotta talk some Brand Nubian shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
hang on. I don't know what.
He made some good points though, Peter.
He did. I knew he would.
I never thought about your name of it because it's just your name. It's what I call you, but I never thought about how your name could probably have gotten you.
Y'all playing that?
Yeah. This is my technical difficulty music right now.
Yeah, I don't know why my screen just went out and shit.
Well, can you hear us? As long as you can hear us, we're not using full video anyway. All right, cool.
Yeah, I can hear y'all. I just
right.
can't. Yeah, I got this Raven screen in front of me, and then my laptop is like down low, so I can like. Yeah,
that's almost we're wrapping it up.
I can't see y'all anymore, but fuck it, I'm here. Yeah.
So we were saying that whole thing was Electra. That's where we were, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Hard to the Left, Electra. They was premiering all their new fucking acts, and
so everybody was new. Everybody was being.
Everybody was new at that time. Yes.
Right.
But
Crazy.
Everybody might have had like a little single. I think they had put out this little tape or some shit like that, where everybody was on that tape. You know what I mean? Yep. But we had the most traction at the time. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I don't even know where Kilimanjaro was. Where was that club?
It was on like I want to say like 28th and like.
So it was downtown.
10th, some shit like that. 10th, 11th, around there.
I never I came into the game. That club wasn't there anymore, and I was like, where was this? Where was
it? Probably was there. They just probably changed the name, bro. You know how that goes. Yeah. Now let me ask real quick. Both of y'all on some Hot 97 shit, right?
Okay.
Maybe y'all can answer this question. How come like certain New York artists were never supported? Like MF Doom, for instance. How come we never had any MF Doom? You know,
it's too underground, man.
Doom's a tough one. Listen, I think I'm the first person to ever play Doom on Hot, and I didn't get there till 07. So, but I think Doom's a tough one. I think even in the best of circumstances, Doom would have been very tough from a commercial viability radio standpoint. I remember Sean Price started giving Sean P a push. He had a couple records getting played a lot in the mix. And we talked to him. I talked to him a bunch. And he was just, listen, he wanted to be where he was. He didn't feel like jumping in to play that game. So the records got played. But unless you are interested in playing ball, meaning I'm going to come do interviews, I'm going to come do shows, I'm going to participate, unless you have an utter smash hit, that forces it. Jay Electronica had a smash hit. It forced radio to play. Like, that's how good Exhibit C was. It was undeniable.
But you gotta know, you gotta understand there's people that are not into hip hop the way we are. I'm talking about people who come from our culture. They're not like a girl that's driving to she's driving to work. She's a nurse. They don't like, not all of them, some of them do, but they don't love that underground shit because it's not, they just like catchy single music.
Right, but you gotta always satisfy the core, I feel like I understand all that. I'm not, an idiot where, I'm just ignoring
right.
commerce and shit like that. Like, I get it. But the fact where you gotta have a line somewhere where we're still respecting the essence while doing our corporate dance. You understand what I'm saying? It gets to a point where I feel like they just ignore the essence altogether. And that's what's fucking crazy.
I think there was different degrees of what you're calling the core. Because they represented a lot of street New York music that wasn't necessarily nationwide single hits. There was a lot of New York artists represented that weren't. Doom is a rough one. Doom is so even like
who?
Quali got a bunch of records. Most got a couple records.
But even someone like Mano.
Mano got records.
Mano's not a worldwide successful, huge hip hop artist, but he represents New York so much. Or like when they would play Red Cafe or what's the other guy from East New York? Uncle Murder. Like they all got theirs. They all
even the Dipset solo acts, the Jim Joneses, etc., who were made into big stars locally. I mean, it may not be, your cup of tea always.
Yeah.
I used to love Dipset. So
really,
oh hell yeah! Listen,
like Chic Luke
because I
singles
make conscious music, I still like gangster shit and all of that. I like hard hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Even if I don't always agree, even if I don't agree with the message, a lot of times, like I could still separate the message from the music. Like, you know what I mean? So,
bro, Styles P would always play. What about Papoose?
Yeah, I'll just say this, Jamar. Like, for as much as Hot has dropped the ball in doing things I'd like them to do and where I'd like them to push musically, I will say we also get zero credit for the amount of love that gets shown too. Like, if you were to see last night's K-Slay tribute at Summer Jam, like it was a real beautiful thing.
Piece of it.
It was beautiful. It was a real beautiful thing with effort put into it. Even, and this happens throughout this isn't just because K-Slay was our own. There have been other people we've lost, and Hot has really been the place to step up and be like, we're going to make sure these people's legacy is remembered. Is it all the time? No. The ball is dropped? Yes. But, you know what I'm saying? Like last night, seeing Mano and Jim Jones and these cats on stage in front of 40,000 honoring their friend, it was dope. And some dope things do happen here and there.
Yeah. I mean,
I understand your point. No,
a dog gets some sun on his ass every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but some dogs don't. You know what I mean? Like,
that is true.
Because it's not a dog. We're not a dog tanning salon. You know what I mean? It's not. There's nothing that is going to be the way we wish it was because it's just not commercially feasible. And we fought. I know me personally, bro. Underground hip hop. I came from it, but it wasn't my love when I got older because there were so many people doing it better than me. I could never be Stretch and Bob. I could never be Evil D or all these people. Then I found myself somehow getting into the Caribbean world, all of a sudden I'm breaking Caribbean artists. You know, because I'm of the essence of like, this is New York culture mixed with the Caribbean. Bro, if I go to Jamaica, I get so much different kind of love for playing all these unknown artists on Hot 97. So like, you know, and I in a weird way, I do get my credit for that because they, you know, Sean Paul I saw Sean Paul so early, I tried to get him a deal. I took him around to different labels and he did eventually get a deal, but it was because of my efforts. Rihanna comes through me. The reason why they brought Rihanna to me is because I was breaking all these Caribbean artists and they were like, well, she's from Barbados. Can you help us? And I played her when she was a nobody. Now, you know,
have you got the love for that?
I get some love. I get a little.
I mean, listen,
Rihanna,
when Rihanna gave you the post, when Rihanna gave you the random IG post like 5 years ago, that was pretty tight.
It was more than 5 years, but yeah, it's like 10 years now. No, I'm saying I've been gone.
Give me some random millies, okay? Give me some random. You know what? You know what, Ciph? You was one of the first. Here you go.
Oh, you broke up. What was that?
I said, you know what, Ciph? You was that one. Here, let me break you off real quick. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, no. Let me tell you something, Jamar. I have an accountant sheet of that when I get, hopefully one day, God willing, I get to the bread, to the real bag, I have a list of people that I will be handing brown bags to. I have that list. DJ Riz, Wildman Steve. You know what I mean? Like they gave me my first, you know what I mean? Like in a weird way, you guys are on that list. Like I gave you your props when you first came out. All I got right now is props.
Oh, but you're giving out the props though. No problem.
Yeah, I'll give you a prop bag. That's all I got. And no money in there. It's a prop bag.
Yeah, no, I wish Rihanna would be like, yo, here's $100 grand in a bag. Yeah, that would be nice.
Honey, why are you selling yourself short? $100 grand? She's a billionaire, bro.
Yeah, Rihanna's a billionaire. She could give you a $1 million.
You selling yourself short, sir.
I'll take the short because
we want at least $1 million.
At least
$1 million. Just a random milli. Right? Like a random IG shout out.
Well, why don't people do that? What is it? Greed? Is it self?
Listen,
you know what I mean?
I got people I brought in the game. Okay? That's on some bullshit right now.
Yeah. I call it amnesia.
Yeah. People that never made money in this hip hop shit. And all of a sudden you put money in their pocket and now what? They don't know you anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shit is crazy. Fucking crazy.
It's crazy. So
shit is fucking crazy.
So when you go on these
farmers are motherfuckers.
That's facts.
When you go on these tirades and you calling out all the culture vultures, and there's a lot of them, just give Rosenberg a little.
I just want an occasional pass.
Listen.
Give him a caveat.
No, this was a good talk. This was a good talk because I learned things about, you see, knowledge is power. Knowledge is key. Like, you know what I mean? There were certain things that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know you was a DJ at all. Like, you know what I mean? I almost was like, what qualifies this guy to even talk about hip hop? You see what I'm saying? Right. But being a DJ gives you some kind of a qualification.
Gives you an entry pass.
Right. Where did you get your taste in hip hop anyway? Why do you like this kind of hip hop, if I may ask?
I mean, mostly my older brother.
What's his name?
A culture vulture.
His name's Nick. It's not quite as Jewish as my name, but close.
Nick Rosenberg.
Yeah, hold on. Say that again because he'll want to hear that from Jamar. I'll be very excited. Say it again.
Nick Rosenberg.
That's
culture
right.
Vulture.
Yeah, he was the older, the bigger culture vulture. No, and he was 4 years older than me, and I really don't remember. Like he was friends, him and some friends at school, some black friends at his like middle school or whatever it was at that time. We're listening to hip hop together, and then we started going to New York. And I don't know how he knew to turn on BLS and Kiss. I need to ask him that. I don't know how he knew.
Somebody at school put him on.
Someone told him.
But then we started like they're driving in from from Maryland to go visit their grandparents in New York. And the moment they got in range of New York, they would put on.
Hurry up, 107.5.
Exactly, because we didn't have that.
Turn it on.
There was nothing. DC was so barren at that time for hip hop. So yeah, that's the beginning of it. But hey,
My
Jamar,
friend at school told me about these stations. His name's Tyrone.
Hey, so Jamal, we can bother you again in a few weeks about maybe coming back and doing some music.
Man. Yeah.
Bro, we need like the